everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about all the books I got in my recent Book Outlet haul. So Book Outlet was having a sale. All fiction was $5.99 or less, which some of the fiction is typically pretty pricey. Not on Book Outlet. Book Outlet typically has like some really good deals, but everything fiction wise was basically $5.99 or less. So I thought that was amazing, and I figured, what the hey, it's almost Christmas. I might as well treat myself to some books that I really want to get. So this video is just going to be me talking about the books that I got, and yeah, so here we go. One book I got was Set on You by Amy Leah. And this book, I actually just finished it. I got impatient because I really wanted to read it, and so I requested it through Libby and just downloaded it to my Kindle, and I finished it on my Kindle about the day it arrived. So this book was super cute. It was like I think it's part of the influencer series, and our main character is a social media influencer. She does fitness and body positivity and everything. So she winds up falling in love with her enemy at the gym, which is a fireman, and it's just a super cute book. So yeah, super great price and super great book. Another book I snagged was Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. And I've been seeing this book all over Bookstagram. I heard it's very similar to Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. So I'm very excited to read it, and that's about all I know of it. But yeah, I hope to enjoy it. I also got Well Matched by Jen DeLuca, which I've heard about this book via FableBands. Like, I love FableBands. I was actually a rep for them earlier this year, and this is one of their, this isn't the headband, but they have headbands inspired by this book. So it really piqued my interest, and then I saw that this book was available on Book Outlets, so I went ahead and got it, and I hope to read it at some point. I've been in a really romancy mood lately, so I hope to get to it pretty soon. And then another book I got, I think this was like all my romance books, but A Brush with Love by Maisie Eddings, and this book is about, I think, dentistry and romance, so sounds really good. This is another one that I've heard through the FableBands grapevine, and so I decided to pick it up, and hopefully I really enjoy it. Now, a lot of these are going to be like horror books because they had a whole bunch of horror books on sale too, and I really wanted to expand my horror collection. So I know I jumped from one extreme to the other, rom-coms to torture and horror. Anyway, that's me. But yes, the first horror book, is This Thing Between Us by Gus Marano. And this book I've heard about on Books in the Freezer podcast, and it's supposed to be kind of like grief horror. I think it's about this man who loses his wife, and he has a similar, like something similar to like Alexa or like your Google, and it kind of becomes transient or something, and I don't know, scary things ensue. So yeah, I look forward to reading this, and I hope it's really as good as I've heard it is. The next book is Just Like Mother by Anne Hetzel. And this book involves a woman, or I think she was a child at the time, but a child escaping a cult. And then years later, I think she has to kind of like revisit certain things about the cult and everything. So sounds super good. I love the cover. Like, the baby doll's just creepy. I will steal your soul. Anyway, so yeah, I'm interested to read this book and hopefully get to it at some point in probably 2023. I don't think it's going to be this year. The next book is The Woman in the Dark by Vanessa Savage. And this book follows a woman who is becoming depressed, and her husband decides it's time to have a change of scenery. So he moves the family out to an old beach house that he used to live in, but somebody else had been murdered in this beach house in between the time he had lived in it as a kid and now. And yeah, spooky things start to ensue, and it gets creepy is what I've heard. So yeah, sounds pretty good, and I'm glad I snagged it. Another book is The Patient by Jasper DeWitt, and this book I have actually already read. I listened to it on audio thanks to Scribd, and it was a super good book. It's about this new doctor, and he goes to work in a mental institution, and there is one patient that they tell nobody to go around because the patient can make you crazy, and a lot of people have actually killed themselves after talking to this patient. But of course, being a new doctor and all, he thinks that he has beginner's luck. He's going to solve it all. He's fresh out of school and he knows everything. Well, the patient starts to trick him, and all sorts of creepy things start happening, and there are some supernatural elements into this book as well. And the ending has such a plot twist, and I love this book. It was so much fun. It's a short read. Let's see, how many pages? It's only like just a little over 200 pages, so it's a super short read and so much fun. Another book I snagged was You Love Me. And whew, this book was fun. I actually read this when it came out, I think like last year. Or was it the year before last? I think it was last year, because season 3 of You came out last year. Or actually, no, it's this year, right? Oh my gosh. Where is time gone? Anyway, earlier this year, I read this book. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, this is the third book in the Joe Goldberg series. So Joe moves and he winds up focusing his attention on a librarian this time. But he decides, I am different. I am not going to kill anybody this time. But of course it's Joe, and he starts stalking people, and things happen. Things get caught in the crossfire. But he's trying to be better because he wants to be better for this lady. And yeah, you know how it goes. It's just a domino effect. One thing happens after the other, and it's tense, but at the same time you love it, you hate it. It's Joe Goldberg. So anyway, it was a whole lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one. I liked it actually better than book 2. Loved book 1. Book 2 was okay to me. I didn't really like love. I didn't love too much. And then book 3 was a lot of fun, and there's some plot twist in here. And I just got approved for the ebook, the arc of the 4th book in this series, so I can't wait to read it. The book I snagged was Bad Man, and this is actually by the author of Pen Pal, Dathan Arbok. I think I did it right that time. And I really don't know anything about this book. I just knew that it was written by the same author as Pen Pal, so I was like, hey, I really liked Pen Pal, so let's read this. So it looks like, I just went ahead and read the summary. It looks like it's about a boy, and he looks away for like 2 seconds in the grocery store, and his little brother goes missing, and they can't find him, and he spends a lot of this book looking for his brother and trying to figure out what happened to him. So sounds pretty good. I guess that explains the shopping cart on the front. So anyway, I bet it's going to be fantastic because I loved Pen Pal. Another book I snagged was Theme Music by T. Marie Vanley. And it sounds like in this book that our main character survived a family slaughter. I guess the father went nuts and killed everybody in the family except her when she was 1 year old. And the story follows 25 years later into the town that she used to live in when she was 1. And she wants to find out more about her family's history. So I guess she moves into the house, but creepy things start happening. And yeah, she starts to unravel the truth, but sometimes the truth doesn't need to be understood. So sounds really good. And I've heard a lot of good things about this book as well on Bookstagram and I think Books in the Freezer podcast. So yes. Another book I snagged was Notes on Your Sudden Disappearance by Allison Espach. And this book focuses on, I think there's 2 sisters, and they both are crushing on this boy. And so they go to the pool a lot to watch him. But I think it doesn't, the description doesn't really say, but it sounds like one of the sisters goes missing, and the 2, Billy, who's the boy they're crushing on, and the sister kind of get intertwined, like their lives become intertwined. So yeah, I think it's focusing on the disappearance of this sister. So anyway, it sounds really good, and I'm excited to read it. I've heard a lot of rave reviews on this book. The last book I snagged was A Cosmology of Monsters by Sean Hamill. And it is about a little boy who sees monsters, and that's all I know. So it sounds really good. I wonder if this is more of like a metaphorical book with the monsters, because it's a little kid. The other people in the family don't see these monsters, so I really wonder if it has to deal with something happening in the family. So I'm interested to read this book and actually find out. Thank you so much for tuning in to my most recent book haul. Again, I got these books on sale for Black Friday from Book Outlet. I love Book Outlet. I love snagging some really good deals on books. It's where probably half of my books have actually come from. So anyway, thank you again for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you.